kind of collectively gotten spoiled by seeing TJ produce at this point. So to see 2 catches for 10 yards and to see the Ravens effectively take him away, what do you learn from the tape of that game, and how do you, I guess, combat that?
Well, I think production comes in a number of ways, and just because of the targets and the catches aren't there doesn't mean he was not a factor in that game. He was a big reason for our success in the second half there, particularly in the run game. And so with that being said, yes, we absolutely want him to become more involved, but that takes a village. That takes us as coaches making sure that he's put in the right spots, takes the line, making sure they're blocking their guys, making sure Goff knows where to go with the football so that we can get the ball to him. But that's everybody on board, and he's doing his part. Was really proud with how he played last week, and thought he was a big reason for our success there in the second half.
We've seen really big growth from him as a route runner in particular. It's just very obvious to see. Where have you seen, I guess, the biggest strides as a blocker, particularly in the run game?
To me, it's the consistency. I would say the first half of last season, it was hit or miss. It was hot and cold. But through the first 3 games here this year, boy, has he been a lot more reliable there. It's not been perfect. There's plenty of room to improve. But not only just nailing the assignments, but the different looks, the possibilities that could come up, and he's playing faster because of that. So I think for a guy that weighs 240, 245, 250, in that range, he can hold up against a lot bigger players just with his skill set, his physicality. He's stronger than he looks, and then his quickness, I think, is elite for that position. So it's been really encouraging so far what he's been able to do to help us out in the run game.
Is he lighter than last year? Those numbers sound lighter than what he was last year.
No, he's always been in that range, somewhere around 245, 250. Yeah.
In the passing game in particular, though, I think you mentioned it too, just finding ways to get creative when defenses focus on a guy like that when they know, he's one of your main guys. Just how creative do you have to be in moving him around and maybe disguising some things and trying to find those good matchups for him?
Yeah, no, I think formationally we can certainly take advantage of that. Stacks and bunches normally limit the ability for them to double a certain player, so that's part of it. But then at the same time, other guys will be open as a result of it. So I don't think, we haven't seen, at least so far this season, that they're going to double them every play, right? I don't think any defense wants to do that. So we will be selective, and when we target them and when we want to give them the ball, we got to do a good job on offense here, finding ways to get it to them.
All offseason, we were kind of tracking that third tight end battle, and it mounted to 2 tight ends on the roster, but you've got 3 on the practice squad now. Yeah. I think we kind of have a sense of what Brock brings to the table. Can you give us, I guess, a quick scouting report of the 2 new guys you've been working with since the beginning?
Yeah, so our scouting department did a phenomenal job pinpointing these guys at the end of camp, and they became available and signed with us on the P squad. Shane Zylstra and Jared Pinkney, and they have done a phenomenal job getting up to speed with our offense because it's complex, and they've been working their tails off both on the field and off the field trying to know what to do, but then the other part of the equation is knowing how to do it. So that's where we're a little bit behind with those guys, but I've been really impressed with how they've attacked it, and even in the classroom, just they're on top of it right now. So we got to keep pushing the envelope there and see what they can do. They show up every day on the show teams, and that's something we're looking for.
F-type, inline. I mean, how do those guys in particular, how do they fit?
Yeah, I think Shane has more of a background as a receiver, so he certainly brings more in terms of the pass catching ability and route running, and he's developing as a blocker. Whereas Jared did a little bit of both there in Vandy, right? Like he caught a lot of balls, so I think he is a threat there, but at the same time he's a little bit bigger body, and he's done some of that grunt work there as an inline guy, so probably a little bit more balanced in that regard.
How much time if any, is Jason Govinda spending with you in practice, just working on some of that tight end stuff?
He's a versatile player, so we like to put him around I think the only room he's not been in yet is the quarterback room, but that might be on the docket. So no, I think we're finding different ways to use him, and he's another guy that's been super sharp. So because of that, we can put him in multiple spots, and it allows us to move him all over the place and be a lot more dynamic on offense because of that.